Hello YouTubers. The purpose of this video is just to showcase the history of the balisong. Basically, to give you some of the information about this topic is all of these balisongs were created in Taal, Batangas, with their various sizes and shapes, with their different details in it. I'm going to open it now and I'll show you my collection of the balisongs real quick, because these are way too many to discuss. To start off, I have here my longest one. This has about the size of 40 centimeters when it is opened wide from edge to edge, tip to bottom. You know what I'm saying? It's in bone inserts in it, and has a brass liner and gold brass bolsters as well. And it has a labaha type of blade attached to it. Typically, the next size to compare next to this one is the 29. Here, as you can see, if you are going to open a 29, you will have that kind of size when it is opened from tip to tip, from bottom to top. This one, as you can see, has the buyod type of blade, the typical one, the oldest and the oldest styles that they have invented way back. To give you a trivia about the balisong, if you are going to ask me, the balisongs were invented way back in Taal, Batangas by Perfecto de Leon, alias Pitong, for them to pack with them every day the balisong, inserted to the inside their waists to protect themselves from the invaders, the foreign invaders. Okay. Going back to the measurements, from 29, next to it is the 24 centimeter size when it is open from tip to tip balisong. Here again, as you can see, the type of edge that we have here is the buyod type of blade. This one is the typical one, as I have mentioned earlier. These were the first type of blade that were invented, because it has the typical shape of the blade. The purpose of the blade, aside from having them as a protection when they go up, it can be considered as a utility knife for everyday use. Obviously, my collection has different types of inserts in it and designs, and with their respective type of blades. But I will no longer show it to you, because I have them organized already, and I don't want to waste time to bring them back in once again. Just to show you some of my collections, here we have the also a 29 size of balisong. I have here the Rambo type of blade. It was called Rambo type of blade because it was derived from the movie of Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, way back in 1980s. Okay, I'm going to close it now. Just to show you the difference of the liners. If you are going to talk about the liners, right here I have here the stainless one, which they call the ordinary liner. This is way much cheaper than the original ones, the brass liners, because the brass are more expensive compared to the aluminum ones. Here, I'd like to show you, if you're going to move on, if you're going to talk about the width of the blade, this is way narrower compared to the other blades that were shown seconds ago. Obviously, this is way narrower, right, compared to these ones. These are way thicker than this one. Why is that? It all depends on the collector, if they wanted to a customized blade, depending on how they wanted it to come out. Basically, that's about it. I just before we end this video, I want to share you some of the types of inserts that they are making whenever they are preparing the item to be built. Of course, depending from the instructions of the client, what they desire, what they're required to have them put in the balisong. Anyways, this one is the original one, what they call the deer horn, or the horn of the deer. You know what I'm saying? this has something to do with the origin of the word balisong, because if you are going to if you are going to break down the word balisong, the balisong derived from the word bali, means broken, and song means sungay, the horn of the deer. I guess that makes sense. So if you compare that compound word, you will come up with the word balisong. So bali means broken, and sung means sungay, the horn. So if you compare that, once again, you will have the word balisong. So that basically came from that word, and they came up with that word, and eventually the spread out and goes on with everybody else to know. The next typical one is the bone of the horse bone, what they call. Here obviously is way different compared to this deer horn, because this one is much more simpler. It has a much more smoother texture compared to this edgy type of element or material, which we call the deer horn, compared to this horse bone. And this has the yellowish tone color compared to this one. This one is way much more paler compared to this one. So I'm going to bring this back in already. And as I have said earlier, I will not go on with the other collections. I have just showed you some of my collections for the sake of the preservation of the history, just to let you know how it all started here in the Philippines, just for information. And I hope it helps you with the little bit of details that I gave you. One last thing, not to brag, but I would like to show you this one. This one is I consider the most vintage and the most antique one compared to all of these collections that I have here, because all of these balisongs that I have here are made only these current years that have passed, compared to this one. This one is a beauty. As you can see, this one is called this guy's pen balisong. All of these are brass type of element or material. It is made way back the era of the World War II by the Batangueños in Taal at the barangay Balisong. The only detail that I can give you about this piece is that it was crafted simply because as the when Filipinos were invaded by the Spanish and the Japanese back then here in the Philippines, they have a difficulty to bring balisong with them. So they came up with the idea of creating a balisong pen to disguise themselves from bringing such as this. So I guess that was way effective, rather than bringing typically menacing looking balisong compared to this pen balisong. You can bring this one with you back then and pretend that you are just bringing a ball pen with you, but then little did they knew, I'm talking about the foreigners, I'm talking about the foreigners, little did they knew that the Filipinos are already armed with their defense weapons. So I guess this one is the only thing that I can brag about you, because this one is a beauty, and all of this you can disregard, because all of these were just made currently and just a past few years ago by the Batangueños, the swordsmith, or what they call them, or mga panday. Anyways, just to add a little bit detail about these, and I would like to say a shout out to Mr. Diosdado Ona, because currently Mr. Diosdado Ona is the you can say that he's the hero today of the Balisong, because he's trying to keep the legacy of the Balisong history here in the Philippines, because we're running out of swordsmiths to create this kind of pieces, because some are getting old, some are dying, and most of their offsprings are no longer interested of learning how to make these balisongs, to preserve the history and the legacy. So that is basically the problem that we are having today, right there in Batangas, Taal. So I guess that's about it, and basically I have just said all the essentials, and that's for you to know, and I hope you appreciate the quick brief and orientation with these pieces, and I hope it helps you. And hopefully this video would reach out for those persons who would like to know the real history of the balisongs, because you take it from the real Batangueños and the Filipinos if you would like to know about the details of the balisong. Okay, so for now I would say bye bye, and maybe next time I can run through this piece by piece, so I can break down all the details, much more detailed about the pieces. Okay, so bye for now. Thank you for watching. Okay, mabuhay ka na.